Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha. In today's video, I am going to talk all about preschool with you guys. So it's all about preschool, pre-K, and a little bit kindergarten. I just wanted to share with you guys what we have been using for preschool and then kind of my thoughts on pre-K / kindergarten and a little bit of feedback from you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And I will just tell you guys, the very first preschool that I started with my son was the Gentle and Classical Preschool. This here is the teacher's guide. I also have the handicraft guide. And in our old house, I used to have his memory statement board up in our homeschool room. And I have a video on here where I shared that with you guys. But in the new house where we're living, I needed something that didn't attach to the wall. We aren't quite finished with our walls yet, so I can't hang anything up on them. So what I've been using is a folding poster board, like a project board, and that's been working out really nicely. I actually have been liking that better because there's a lot of days where, not even a lot of days, since moving in this house, our homeschool room hasn't been all the way set up, and it's more set up now, but we still have some work to do on it. We're changing out from having desks to putting in a table in there, and we just haven't gotten a table yet. So we haven't really been doing school in there at all this school year. And so when I did his memory statement board on the project board, it's been nice because I can bring it out into the living room so we can work on it, and then it can be stored in the homeschool room. So that's been really nice and flexible. If you guys want to see that, it's basically, if you watch the preschool video, that memory statement board that I had on a cork board, it's just that put onto the trifold project board. So we started this when my son was 2 turning 3. So he is a September birthday. So when the school starts every year, he's still on the younger end, and then he goes the next age up. So where it's different in all states on when they're technically eligible for kindergarten, and so he, being a September baby, is usually hit or miss depending on where you live. In Colorado, I believe the cutoff was actually in October, October 15th or something like that, maybe October 30th. So he would have been able to start kindergarten there. But where we live here in Texas, he actually is a few days too late. The cutoff here in Texas is September 1st for kindergarten, and he's a September 17th baby. So there's other places where the cutoff is September 30th, with Classical Conversations. They use September 30th as the cutoff. So when you're going into essentials, you have to be 9 as of September 30th. When you're going into challenge, you have to be 12 as of September 30th. So when he gets into those older years, that's where it's going to make more of a difference on where he's at, on whether we keep him down or move him forward. But for right now, I kind of don't really worry about what his age is, and we just start our books and go through them. So he started this when he was, like I said, just turned 3, and wasn't doing the handicrafts or any of the extra books for the older kids. So this school year we restarted this, and we're actually still we're finishing up term 1, and then we'll just move straight into term 2 in here. But now we've added in the extra books that are meant for the older kids, the 4-year-olds, 3 to 4-year-olds. So we started that, and that's also when you can start the handicraft guide. And to be honest, with term 1, we haven't done much of the handicrafts, and that's just because that's the season of life we're in. I had a baby. I was pregnant, had a baby, and so doing some of those handicrafts I just didn't have the energy for. But now that we are finishing up with term 1, I am, my baby's 4 months old now. She still needs me. She's still completely dependent on me, but there's times where I can, set her down and she can play, or I can hand her off to my husband and she's totally content with that for a while. So I will have more time and more energy to be able to put towards handicrafts with my 4-year-old. So I'm looking forward to that. So we are going to continue on with this going into term 2. So like I mentioned, he will be 5 in September. And I did go ahead and start him in CC this year. So we started in August. So he was 3 when we started and then turned 4. It's so crazy because of where he's at and how interested he is in school. I always, in my mind, think he's a year older. So I like, for a minute, just a little bit stressed about what we were going to do for kindergarten. And then I was kind of brought back down to earth because 1, kindergarten doesn't need to be stressful. And 2, he's not even like at that age to where it's necessary. So he did start CC with us this year and worked on the memory work, went with us to CC every Monday until I had the baby. And then he stayed home with my husband just because it was easier that way. He was in a class with a lot of littles, and that tutor needed more parent help. So it was just easier for me to like kind of be a little bit hands off and just take my big kids and focus on my new baby during that time. So he would stay home with my husband and they would do some science experiments here, and he would work on the Good and the Beautiful preschool course book. So he did not start this at the beginning of the year. This was something that he started more towards the end of, probably like the end of the fall, coming into January. So he really got more into it in January when he was staying home on Mondays. And he and my husband would do a lesson here on Mondays. So we were kind of just taking it really slow. We are not even halfway through this yet. We are just getting into actually unit 3. And so now that we are done with CC, I let him pick. I ask him in the morning if he's going to do a preschool lesson or not. Most mornings it's a yes. And so, but I kind of put it on him because he really doesn't need to be sitting down doing formal school right now. I really love the gentle and classical preschool approach with lots of books and the memory statements, and then doing that paired with CC memory work. I have learned that I actually really do love the classical model of teaching, and so those two together are really good. But he wants to like have his own workbook. He sees the big kids doing work and he really enjoys it. So we will ask him in the mornings if he wants to do a preschool lesson or not. And lately, more often than not, he's saying yes. And so now that we're doing it more than just Mondays, he's starting to actually get through many more of these lessons. So this is something else that he's doing. And we also have the practice sheets, and we do all of these with him as well. Not every day, just when he says when he's done with a lesson in here, there are some days where he says he still wants to do more. And rather than going and doing too many more lessons, sometimes we'll do extra lessons. But it's really nice to have the practice sheets and then just going in here and getting him out a sheet to do. So this is really nice. It has the letters that they are learning, and they can build, draw, color, paint, whatever on those letters. And then it has, there are practice sheets in here for every unit. So he's done the unit 1 and the unit 2 practice sheets. And like I said, we're going into unit 3. So this is the start of the unit 3 practice sheets. We also utilize the app, and he will do the songs to this, which are fine. I've noted, like, this has been fine. I'm not expecting him to master anything at this point. And it's all been okay. I wouldn't say that he's necessarily, like, the songs are super helpful. I've actually kind of just made up our own way of doing some of the letter sounds that seem to be working better. So we do that, but they're fine. The other thing that he has been doing and really enjoys are these doodles and pre-writing. He finished this one actually back in October. And I had been meaning to buy him the part 2, and I didn't do that for a while. So he really enjoys this. This is one of those things where I don't tell him to do it. He will see it and he will ask if he can do 1 page or 2 or 3 pages. Lately he's just been saying, can I do 3 pages? And so he does 3 pages and he's done. So this is the part 2, which I finally got this ordered, and this is what he's been doing now. He just started that. So that's kind of everything that he's been doing for preschool this year. And moving forward, I had been looking into following this preschool book up with the kindergarten prep, but I'm just not sure if that's the route I want to go. So what I have done is, like I mentioned, he's done these 2 books, and in this one here, he hasn't gotten far enough into it yet, but eventually in here, they're going to start doing letters in here as well. So I feel like this leads perfectly to the handwriting that I got him for next year, which is from Handwriting Without Tears, and it's the My First School book, and it's all letters. So I think that leads perfectly to that. And back to the kindergarten prep. I have been considering that, but I have actually been watching so many videos about different kindergarten programs, and I am also thinking that I want to move into the primer from this, but that's more kindergarten, 1st grade. So I kind of need like an in-between, because once we finish this out, there's really no like in between. I don't know, maybe I need to look at the kindergarten. If you've done the primer version of Gentle and Classical, let me know what your thoughts are on that, like how it followed up to the preschool. But same thing, if you've done this preschool and then followed that up with kindergarten prep, let me know how that went. Or if you followed up either one of these with something else, please let me know, because I'm just trying to figure that out. I was looking into Christian Light, and I actually did purchase, let me get it. I actually did purchase the kindergarten 2 light units. So here's the teacher's guide for that. And I have, let me see. So I was looking at these online, and I went ahead and went with the kindergarten 2. So these are the 5 activity workbooks, or little lights. And then these are the little light workbooks, the 5 of those. So it comes with 10, 5 activity and 5 workbooks. And I looked at the samples online. So if you're actually ever interested in any level of CLE, they have an amazing amount of sample pages where you can really get a true idea of what is included in the curriculum and in every single light unit, as well as like a full scope and sequence. So if you're interested in that. But like I was saying, after looking through the kindergarten 1 of CLE and then the kindergarten 2, I felt that after doing the this preschool, oh, and I also will add, when we're doing Gentle and Classical, we also have the preschool Math at Home by Kate Snow. So he does that in addition with the Gentle and Classical preschool. And so with that being said, with Gentle and Classical preschool, and then with him doing this, I am looking at the samples. I feel like all of that is even more advanced than the kindergarten 1 from CLE. So I felt that if I got the CLE, he would be stagnant and there wouldn't be much progress. So I decided to pick up the kindergarten 2, and it looks really good. I think he could totally do this after those 2. I think this completely prepares him for this level of Christian Light Education kindergarten. But I still, I don't know, I'm kind of like torn between if I really can go in to that one after this. So all of that to say, I'm not really sure what I'm doing next year, but I did want to get on here and share with you guys like what we have been doing for preschool / pre-K and what my thoughts are for possible kindergarten. Just because I feel like between everything we've done with the Gentle and Classical preschool and then with everything that's included in here, this especially is going to really equip him and have him prepped for moving up and possibly into kindergarten level work if he completes that over the summer. And if not, he'll probably complete it in the fall, and then I think we can head right into this. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to share with you guys today is, like I said, what we've been doing and what my scattered brain is kind of thinking for next year. Whatever I decide, because there's still a couple of things that I want to add on. I'm thinking about either the Explode the Code, the Get Ready for the Code ABC set. I'm thinking about that to add on. And then I'm also thinking about, I don't think I need a math, because in the Christian Light workbook, there is like kindergarten math in here. So what I need to do is I really need to just flip through it and look at it all and see if it's even worth adding a math. But I don't think that I have to. So I think that with this, the handwriting, and then maybe with like the Get Ready for the Code set, he should be good. And then I'll share with you guys, we're going to be doing term 2 here soon. I think we'll probably start that in the fall, so it'll definitely start in the next school year. And this is really where all of his literature comes from. All of the books that I'm going to be reading to him comes from Gentle and Class School. And then we're going to be starting CC again. So that is what it is shaping out to be. Just moving right through, finishing things, and then starting right back in, or starting right up with the next thing. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But if you guys have any thoughts on the kindergarten prep from The Good and the Beautiful, or the primer from Gentle and Class School, let me know those thoughts, because I am curious / interested in those, maybe before I do kindergarten 2, or maybe even after, because I don't know that he would actually be ready to start their learning to read program after that. So there's like, I feel like he's just kind of like in this weird phase where he's doing really well with some things, but I don't want to move him forward too fast with things like reading, if he isn't quite ready for that. So yeah, this is kind of like rambling at this point, so I will go ahead and stop the rambling. Thank you guys if you're still here for listening to that and sitting here and chatting all about preschool, pre-K / kindergarten with me. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit the like. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit subscribe. I would love to have you here as a part of my community, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!